Sorry for that loud bang, but thank you and welcome to the, what month is it? April, yes. We're a little early, that's why. April 2019 Manitowoc County Board of Supervisors meeting, and welcome those watching in the gallery and those watching at home. Before we get started, I'd like to announce that, I don't know if you're aware, but we do have access to the county board meetings on YouTube now. I did send a press release to the press and to all of you today. I'll just read various points of it. I guess I'm pleased that it gives every Manitowoc County resident with internet access the ability to live stream the county board meeting or watch it at a more convenient time. And I got to thank Jerry Noiser from Public Works and Cody Berg, who did a lot of work on this as well, from our IS department. So access to live streaming or viewing past meetings can be achieved by going to the county's website, www.co.manitowoc.wisconsin.us, and hovering over the government tab. And under the miscellaneous, there is a YouTube live link which you can click access to Manitowoc IS, and the live feed will be there, plus the past meetings. You can also access by going to youtube.com and typing in Manitowoc IS in the search bar, and it will come up. So after each meeting, the video will be posted on the county's website and will remain on YouTube. And generally, the county board meets the third Tuesday of the month, as most of you know. But there are special meetings, and some of those meetings are changed throughout the year. So to see a list of the scheduled meetings, just access the public on the county website and hover over the government tab and then click on county board, and those dates will be there. So with that, I will invite Supervisor Hanson up with the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Hour, 2 hours of thought. Let us work together. Let us respect each other in that tradition that has been taught to us by our Creator of whatever religion you believe in. When you think of it, ladies and gentlemen, every religion on this planet's purpose is to get us to work together, to listen to each other, and to come up with a common good. And that should be our achievement for tonight. So take this time to whoever you believe in to ask for their guidance to make this meeting become purposeful. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, Supervisor Hanson. Roll call is going around. 23 members are present. We do have a quorum. Supervisor Nichols informed me he could not make it tonight. I have not heard from Supervisor Zimmer. Next up will be consideration and correction of our minutes from our March 19, 2019 board meeting. Motion by Supervisor Banky, seconded by Supervisor Gauger to approve those minutes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried, and the minutes are approved. Additions or deletions to the agenda? There's none, so we're good there. So we'll jump right down into reports of county supervisors, officers, and department directors. If Bob could join me at the podium. And if the foster child people could come up from Human Services, that would be great. Good evening, Karen. We have Karen Zahn from the Human Services, and I think Cindy Schley. Human Services, and Brenda and Carly, yes, thank you for coming. So we have a proclamation tonight for Foster Care Month of May 2019. Whereas the family serving as the primary source of love, identity, self-esteem, and support is the very foundation of our communities and our state. And whereas in Manitowoc County, there are 97 children and youth in foster care being provided with a safe, secure, and stable home, along with the compassion and nurture of a foster family. And whereas foster families who open their homes and hearts offer to help children whose families are in crisis play a vital role in helping children and families heal and reconnect and launching children into successful adulthood. And whereas dedicated foster families frequently adopt foster children, resulting in a greater need for more foster families. And whereas there are numerous individuals, public and private organizations who work to increase public awareness of the needs of children and in leaving foster care as well as the enduring and valuable contribution of foster parents. And the foster care system is only as good as those who choose to be part of it. Now, therefore, we, Bob Ziegelbauer, Manitowoc County Executive, and Jim Bry, Manitowoc County Board Chair, along with the Manitowoc County Board of Supervisors, hereby proclaim month of May 2019 as Foster Care Month here in Manitowoc County, and urge all citizens to change a lifetime by sharing their hearts, opening their homes, and offering help to children in foster care, foster parents, and the child welfare professional staff working with them during this month and throughout the year. Thank you very much, Cindy.
Thank you, Chairperson Bry. Good evening, everyone. My name is Karen Zahn, and I'm a member of the foster care team for Manitowoc County Human Services. Here with me tonight are other members of our foster care team, Cindy Schley and Tabitha Lecker, who's in the back taking pictures for us tonight. Along with us also is our director of our agency, Patricia Dodge. We have brought with us foster parents, Brenda and Craig Carley. The Carleys have been licensed with us since 2017, and they have recently decided to relicense and continue with the Manitowoc County Foster Care Program. But more foster homes are needed. Kids continue to get placed into foster care, homes continue to fill up, people move away, and kids get adopted. Please consider becoming a foster parent yourself or encourage someone that you know to consider becoming a foster parent. We're currently recruiting very heavily in Manitowoc County right now because the situation is critical. We need lots more foster parents to service the kids that are coming into care. One of the ways that we recruit for foster parents is by putting out lawn signs. You may have seen them over the last few years. They're bright yellow. Some of them are red and white. And we brought some of those signs along with us tonight. They're located in the back of the room, and we just ask if you could take one with you, display it in your lawn or at your place of business. There's a sign-up sheet on the table in the back so that we know where to pick them up. We usually keep them out throughout the month of May, and we're willing to pick them up when you're done with them. So please sign up when you take a sign. So Brenda and Craig have 2 children of their own. When their daughter went off to college and their son entered high school, they decided to look into foster care, and we're so glad that they did. Together, they have faced the challenges of fostering, but they've remained strong. They're a positive influence in the lives of children in Manitowoc County. And with that, I'm going to turn the mic over to Brenda.
Thank you very much. The adventure has been an adventure, and that's all I can say. If you or anybody you know is thinking about possibly one day doing this adventure, do it now. We need you now, and the kids need you now. It has been a learning experience. It has been an eye-opener, but in a wonderful way. So it takes a village to raise a child. Help us out. Encourage everybody you know that can do it. We need you now.
Karen, everybody at Human Services, and thank you very much for your being foster parents. It's incredible. You're right. And I've talked to my wife about this, and sometime I know you want it now, but we have children right now, but I'm hoping that somewhere in the future we can do that. And unfortunately, with the room portion of it, we have to put people in the garage. But thank you so much for your contributions. All right, Nancy Saueressig, you want to come on up? As we know, at last month's meeting, we essentially announced the retirement from Nancy Saueressig, our county treasurer. So May 10th will be your last day, and it's an honor to have served with her. I first met Nancy when she was working in the clerk's office, in the county clerk's office, and eventually went over to the treasurer's office. A little disappointed because I still saw her, but I thought I'd see her a little bit more. But she moved up the ranks there too and became county treasurer and was elected. It's incredible. So we're going to miss you, Nancy. I know Amy's going to do a wonderful job, but you should be proud of the work you've done, not just in the treasurer's office, but Manitowoc County in general. So, anyways, whereas Nancy J. Sauer-Essig began her 25-year career in county government in 1994 as a fill-in for various departments before settling in the county clerk's office in 2004, where she helped save the typewriters from certain doom and worked there until January 2009 when she was appointed deputy treasurer and was later appointed county treasurer in March 2016 and was elected in her own right later that year. And whereas Nancy J. Sauer-Essig never had a bad day at work, her positive attitude and seemingly infinite supply of optimism buoyed her coworkers and everyone around her. And with a caring smile and willingness to help, she skillfully assisted citizens and municipal governments with navigating the oftentimes complicated property tax structure. And whereas Nancy J. Sauer-Essig wore many hats in addition to county treasurer, the detective had to find the new addresses when a tax bill is returned. The bookkeeper had to keep a true and accurate count of all the monies which come into the treasurer's hands, and a social worker hat when she would listen to medical, legal, or personal issues causing people to have difficulty paying their taxes. And whereas Nancy Sauer-Essig in her retirement years plans to enjoy quality time with her children, grandchildren, extended family, and tending to the flower garden of her new home in River Falls, where every day will be a vacation. Now, therefore, we, Bob Zigel, our Manitowoc County Executive, and James Bry, County Board Chair, along with the Manitowoc County Board of Supervisors, hereby congratulate Nancy Sauer-Essig on her retirement, expressing our sincere appreciation and thanks on behalf of all the citizens of Manitowoc County for a job well done, and wishing her a long, healthy, and happy retirement and success in all her future endeavors. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chairperson Brian, County Executive Ziegelbauer. That had the tones of Lois Keel in it. I know that did, somewhere in that. But thank you again. It's been an honor and a privilege all these years to be a public servant of Manitowoc County. And it was an opportunity that came across to me in life, and I'm so glad I took the risk in doing that. And as we all should in life, we have one life to live, and we should live it well and full of purpose. So thank you very much again. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
As we read in the proclamation, I didn't realize, and I talked beforehand, before the meeting, that they already bought their house in River Falls last October. So I give her a lot of credit for commuting every day. That's a nice haul. It was a joke, obviously, but I'm sure she said she heard that joke many times too. So congratulations, Nancy. We're going to miss you. All right. Next, I have a proclamation commending Emily Hutter of Manitowoc County, outgoing fairest to the fair. Emily couldn't be here tonight, but I would like to read the proclamation. I was honored. I did have the chance to present it at the last competition several Saturdays ago. So she was there, but I'm sure she's busy with school right now. Janelle, yes, so understandable. So, whereas Emily Hutter, a native of the Manitowoc area, has reigned as Manitowoc County's fairest to the fair from spring 2018 through spring of 2019. And whereas the fairest of the fair is a demanding position that requires time, patience, and a willingness to share one's experiences with many people. And whereas Emily Hutter has done an outstanding job in representing Manitowoc County when appearing at various events and parades during her one-year reign. And whereas Emily Hutter competed in the state of Wisconsin Fairest of the Fairs competition and represented Manitowoc County extremely well. And whereas Emily Hutter has been an active representative of Manitowoc County agriculture and has gained and shared valuable knowledge and experiences. And whereas Emily Hutter has inspired others to promote agriculture, the Manitowoc County Fair, and the Manitowoc County Fairest of the Fair position for years to come. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Manitowoc County Board of Supervisors, County Executive, Manitowoc County Public Works Committee, and Manitowoc County Expo Ice Center Board commends Emily Hutter for her time, effort, and positive impact of her reign as the 2018 Manitowoc County Fairest of the Fair. Congratulations. Emily, I hope you get to watch it on the YouTube feed. That would be a good bonus point for that as well. And as I was talking with Janelle a little bit before the meeting tonight as well, next year is actually the 40th anniversary of the Fairest of the Fair, so that's going to be a big one. So I hope we're going to have the competition in October, correct? Okay. So I'm hoping, I know it was a little different on the weekend, but I'm hoping that the county board can come out more force. I know Supervisor Cadmo was there, Supervisor Banky was there. And I know it's a little time consuming at times, but this was very important, and I was proud to be there. And it was a great, I love the venue at U of A Green Bay / Manitowoc campus, and I'm getting that better too. I'm getting, my son's going there, I'm seeing it a lot more often that way. Just a nice atmosphere to have a competition like that. And once again, Janelle and everybody from Expo did an incredible job of promoting it. So thank you very much on that. All right, that's all I have. Thank you, Bob. And speaking of the Public Works Department and Jerry Noiser and Janelle Shelton, we have Public Works Director Jerry Noiser, Comptroller Todd Reckelberg, and Expo Facility Manager Janelle Shelton with the annual Expo Facility Report. Should be all set. Were you adding some last minute numbers, Todd?
Yeah. Okay. Expo Special Revenue Fund, we come before you once a year, usually this time, and kind of update you a little bit on what's going on and how it's accounted for. The Expo Special Revenue Fund is a special revenue fund, and as such, it has a balance sheet and one or more activities that we account for. As you know, you get a report out of my office every month, and you see the profit and loss for Expo activities, the county fair, the maintenance and improvement area, and the ice center. We chose those 4 areas so that you can make decisions as to how you'd like to see those different operations out there proceed. Looking at the unaudited statement, although give us a couple weeks and our auditors will be complete and they'll be audited numbers. The Expo activities, which accounts for everything but the county fair and the ice center, had a $113,000 loss. Although we did have some expenditures going on out there that were not necessarily planned for, but therefore the expense. The county fair did well. Last year we made a little over $65,000, and it's always the county fair that always is kind of like the driving force out there. Expo maintenance improvements, the big revenues in that area, because normally you wouldn't see any there, would be insurance recoveries and donations, where if we receive donations for people wanting to sponsoring different things out there that take care of the whole facility as opposed to just the fair area or the ice center. And then, of course, the ice center, we made some money there this year. Overall, I'd like to see them make a little bit more money as we move forward, and you'll probably understand that better during Jerry's report, because there will be some pretty big healthy expenditures coming up out there for the ice center if they want to maintain ice. A couple of years ago, we've already looked at synthetic or ice to replace it because of what it costs to get ice making equipment out there. It is very, very expensive. So we need to show profits out there so we can build up the reserve necessary, so when those expenses are necessary, we can make them without having to borrow money. Overall, the Expo Special Revenue Fund overall lost a little over $2,000 in total amongst all its activities, excluding the maintenance, of course. If you go to the page there, thank you. This is an accounting of the money that was received and now being spent for different things when we sold the property to Myers. The process is pretty stringent as how to use that money. First off, the Expo board puts together and they look at what are their needs out there. Then it goes to the Public Works Committee. From the Public Works Committee to the county executive. And after all that scrutiny, it ends up in the county executive's budget to be presented to you for your scrutiny. If it gets through those 4 steps, we move forward and we do some improvements. If it gets waylaid during one of those steps, of course, the money just stays there. With that, I'll turn it over. I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Todd. Now that we're winding up our major capital expenditures at the Expo, my portion of this year's presentation is going to focus on capital outlay. So if you look at the graph that we have up, it shows what the county board has approved for capital spending at the Expo since Public Works took over operations back in 2005. Those are the years in 2005 to 2019 in blue. And as you can see, through 2015, there was very little money spent at the Expo. Basically, it was just enough to take care of emergency repairs. Really nowhere near what it takes to keep a facility like that in proper condition. Most of those years, the money that was spent or allocated was only allocated out of revenue that was made in excess of expenditures from the county fair, because under county board directive, the Expo operates without any tax levy subsidy. Basically, they have to live on what they make. So starting in 2016, you can see the bar take off. That was when we had the sale to Meyer and realized the funds to put ourselves on better footing as far as the facility goes out there. So in 2016, we sold the 26 acres, and we've been very aggressive over this period of time, 16, 17, 18, and now 19, as far as improving the grounds. And this is the last year that we foresee major capital expenditures. We had a lot to catch up on, and because there was this backlog of work, we really went after it. So with your support and the support of the Expo Board, Public Works Committee, County Executive, we were able to get all that work done. The yellow bars that you see, that shows the future as we go out. And while it doesn't go out past 2025, those out year capital expenses should be small. And we're hoping that with the position we're putting ourselves in now, owning more of our own equipment, bleachers, less rentals for the county fair, that just through operational profits, we'll be able to fund capital improvements out past 2025 without having to dip into the sale proceeds from the land sale. So the next graph that you see there, basically that shows the revenue from the land sale, the balance in that fund. We started with the $4.3 million in 2016, and the black vertical line is the end of this year. And I guess what's significant, and I'd like to call your attention to when you look at that, there's really 2 things. The first thing is how aggressive we've been. As you see the graph drop off, that's all money spent on improvements in the grounds to put ourselves on that good footing. And the second thing is after this year, you can see where it flattens out. So the expenditures from the out years now have really slowed down to keep that balance healthy. The last chart I have, this pie chart, shows how the proceeds of the land sale has been spent, where we've remaining balance or the unspent funds left over. From 2016 to 2019, we spent just over half of the land sale proceeds. And we, at the end of this year, will have a little over $2 million still left in that fund. And, you know, as I stated in the previous slides, at the end of this year, our major capital work out there is going to be done. You know, of course, there'll always be a little bit of work every year to maintain where we're at, but all the catch-up that we had to play from decades of really no work being done will be complete. So the next largest piece of the pie chart is the purple section there. That's site work. We spent $1.175 million. That included, the highlights of that was $500,000 for the creation of the west parking lot and the new pulling track and special entertainment area. $250,000 for road reconstruction and asphalt replacement within the grounds. $275,000 for the creation of the new east parking lot and main gate, which you'll see this year, which will be off Dewey Street next to the Meyer development. And $150,000 for the purchase of new permanent bleachers for the special entertainment area. The next largest area you'll see where we spent the money was in replacement of existing buildings. That's the green section that you see. As you may recall, there were two large buildings on the grounds which were condemned. One was the Walters building and the other was the dairy cattle barn. Both those buildings were deemed structurally unsound and had to be removed. So by using this money and leveraging quite a bit of donations, which we give Janelle the credit for, who goes out and builds that support among the community, we got over $1 million of buildings for $680,000. So that 680 is what you see in green there on the pie chart. The next area, large area where we spent the money, would be on infrastructure, and we spent $293,000 in that since 2016, and that's for replacement of items such as underground sewer and water, new electrical services, new lighting systems, and HVAC equipment. And the last area is the smallest one. It's the dark blue section of the pie chart, and that is for building improvements, where we spent $172,000. I know it's the smallest section, but it's still $172,000. It's a large piece of money. And that was roof replacements at the milk parlor, on 2 of the horse barns, new roof on the restroom building, and new roofs on 2 maintenance buildings. We resided 2 of the horse barns. We've replaced exit doors in the ice center, merchants building, exhibition building, and milk parlor. We added handicap door openers to the merchants building and ice center. We replaced gutters on the merchants building and exhibition building. And we purchased all new goat pens and are working toward replacement of swine pens for the fair. And which is kind of exciting for some people, we are also purchasing a new stage for the polka tent for the county fair. So yes, polka will be back this year. So that is where the money's been spent in a nutshell.
Well, hello. I'm Janelle Shelton. I'm the facility manager out at the Expo grounds. And just to talk a few things on elaborating what Jerry was speaking on, one of the big buildings that I worked on and I was pretty happy and excited to be a part of was the CP Feeds Dairy Cattle Barn. That building is a state-of-the-art building, and I've been told that by a number of people that are with the Dairy Association. It's a 260-foot by 80-foot building. We built it with 2 30 by 70-foot wash racks to hold approximately 48 cows. There's a 140-foot lean-to roof to cover the wash racks, a 14-foot overhead, the overhead doors, which is really great, especially because they have door openers. And then we have new upgraded lighting system, upgraded plumbing work, increased number of hose bib locations that we did, and filtration system. And because of all of this, we're able to host a District Holstein show that's coming in June of 2019. And all of this, it's a $700,000 building that we were able to build. I raised about $170,000 for that building. So because of that, we had large community supporters. Those are, and I've talked about them before at last year's presentation, but secured them more towards after my presentation happened. I had the West Foundation, CP Feeds, Valley Building Systems, Wisconsin Public Service Foundation, Orion Agricultural Division, Greenstone Farm Credit Services, Investors Community Bank, Hammond Construction, and Manitowoc County Dairy Promotion Committee. And without those funds, we wouldn't have been able to do the additional wash racks, and actually, or the lean-to roof, we wouldn't have been able to extend it, but we were also able to add in a restroom facility for use during the District Holstein show, for use during the Manitowoc County Fair, and for all of the other events that we might have, including RV shows and other things that we'll have at the facility. We have expo events out there, and you might see that I've been sending out newsletters. It has quite a bit of information that I've been sending out. But one of the ones that's coming up is the Anthill Mob Bike Show and Dance. It's on April 27th and 28th. They have raised over $1 million for the community, and we have the facility for them to be able to have their event there. We have a huge ice center. They use the merchants building, and sometimes, depending on what year it is, they'll also use the exhibition building. We had the Manitowoc Home Show that we just had this last weekend. We had a Fire and Ice Convention that is a 3-day event that was back in February. We had our Brew Fest. We're going to be having and hosting, and we had last year a new bull riding rodeo event. We've had horse shows, private parties, that includes receptions, quinceañeras, company picnics. We've had job fairs, 4-H events, including the Pinewood Derby event that's being hosted there tonight in the Ice Center. We've had the Super Pull, rummage sales, and also the Northeastern Wisconsin Dog Show Classic. That is the second largest event that we have at the Expo grounds, and it's we retain or obtain in revenue $14,000 for that 4-day event. And as you'll notice, I have a picture of Meyer there, and you might see that, I'll move back. Can you see it okay? I'm sorry, and I can't move it because I fixed it today. I fixed it so it wouldn't wobble. But there's a great picture. If you haven't been by on Rapids Road, you'll see that they have construction. They've started some movement of dirt, and we're happy to have them as a neighbor, and we're excited for the progress. But I have a video.
This is like a staple every year. It's nice when you have 4 shows in a nice place, and it's relatively beginning of the year, so you're trying to rank up some points. I was a kid, and I always loved dogs, and we bought a house in Chicago, and 2 doors down, the people were breeding dachshunds, and I got hooked. I took over their line, they went out of it, and I continued it, so I'm still breeding their bloodline. Yeah, I was 11. I was just swept away. It's a great sport. It really is.
This is Reggie. He's a almost 2-year-old Shetland sheepdog. He came from Minnesota. I've been showing dogs for about 7 years now. I started with collies. I love the Shelties. Their personality, they're fun dogs to have. They're a little smaller than the collies.
This is Daphne, and she's one that I bred. I started in dogs, been about 13 years, I guess. But I didn't start in this. I started in agility and performance stuff, and I swore I'd never do this. And then it sucked me in. So kind of didn't look back.
A year, about 120. It's every weekend. There's no holidays for dog shows. Every holiday has a big circuit on it. So we never celebrate any holidays or weddings or funerals. Anything on a weekend. We're at dog shows.
I'm not an every weekend person, not like the handlers. Yeah, I don't know how they do it. But I don't know. One day at a time. I have at least 2 shows a month.
Now, last year we did maybe 4 or 5. I have friends showing for me. This is my first one this year, but I'm hoping to go to about 2 a month.
It's very physical, long hours. You know, people come to the show and they see the fluffing and the poofing and the running around the ring. That's just a little tiny piece of what we have to go through every day with the care for them. It's a lot of work. You really have to love it. I love the dogs, obviously, but you have to have a competitive angle or else you fizzle out. And the competition keeps you going.
It's like a 24/7 job just to be able to come here and be competitive. It's an addiction. Can't help but love it. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
Ooh, I don't want to hurt myself. Okay. It worked. All right. So that, like I said, is one of our events, and that's the second largest one that we have, and it raises over, revenue-wise, $14,000. So it was exciting to see the video. I found it on the website, and I was able to obtain it from the HTR. As you can see, we have our 160th year. Can you see that okay? Am I in the way now? Are you sure? Yeah? Okay. We have 160 years of harvesting memories, meaning that this will be our 160th year. It's August 21st through the 25th. And just as a reminder to everybody, it is a 5-day fair this year. We moved the Expo Ice Center Board and the Public Works Committee moved it to a 5-day fair. Operationally, everything will start on Monday, just as it has in the past. But admission-wise, it'll start at 8 o'clock in the morning on August 21st. And my birthday doesn't fall on the fair this year, so that's kind of nice. I get a reprieve. But board members, we have 21 volunteer board members, and I'm going to call out Kevin Banky, Dave Gogger, and Bob Kavanaugh. They're 3 of our members that not only come to this meeting once a month, but they also attend our Expo Ice Center board meeting. And I know Dave wasn't able to attend the Fairest of the Fair because he thought it was on Sunday, so I heard that. Sorry about that, Dave. We'll make sure and communicate it better next time. They attend monthly meetings, participate in working groups. This is a really working type of volunteer system that we have. I hear about other volunteer groups that their volunteer groups aren't as active. We definitely have an active group. And their main responsibility, as you probably know, is helping with the county fair. But other responsibilities, they attend breakfast on the farm or they help us with the rummage sales. So again, they're very active. They participate at the parades and other events. They help with the Fairest of the Fair. So definitely a lot of good things that they help with. Again, as I said, the main gate entrance. Jerry had pointed out that we'll have a new main gate entrance. It'll be off of Rapids Road. So you'll be taking Rapids Road and you'll go on in. We'll have signs that'll direct you. So that'll be one of the new big improvements because of that Meyer sale. So it'll be north of the Meyer property. You'll be able to come in, go to the main gate entrance, or you can park at the other parking lots that we do have. We'll have more parking than we've had in the past, which is always a great thing to be able to announce today. Fair dates, as I had mentioned, are August 21st through the 25th. We had a great Fairest of the Fair competition and reception that actually was held on March 30th, and we had Marley Momans. That is going to be our 2019 Manitowoc County Fairest of the Fair, so congratulations to her. There were 4 other contestants that participated, so we had a great selection to talk with and judge, and they go through a lot of questions and answers. They do interviews, they do one-on-one interviews, as well as group interviewing. Then they have the competition this time was at 3 o'clock. They have to answer impromptu questions, do a 30-second ad. So there's quite an involvement, but the biggest thing for them is being the official ambassador of the Manitowoc County Fair, but also going out. They go out to parades, they do breakfast on the farm. They're very active and they're very involved. And they also get a $1,500 scholarship towards helping them with whatever programs if they want to go on and continue their education or other things. Again, our fair theme is the 160 years of harvesting memories. But with that, we have, and I don't have it on here as one of the things, but events that we have at the fair this year are Wednesday, we'll have the fireworks. So that's going to be a big celebration to kick off the week. Thursday, we have the modified truck and tractor pull. Friday, we'll have the tractor pull. Saturday, we'll have our 2nd annual fire department competition. And then we have new this year, the bull riding rodeo, and that'll be at 7 o'clock. Sunday, we'll have our demo derby at 1 o'clock to end the week. Let's see, I have a lot of stuff here, sorry. I didn't know it was going to be a 2-hour meeting until Biff had mentioned that, so I apologize for the delay. This last year, we had over $30,000 in 2018, so we had $30,000 in sponsorships. So far, we already have sponsorships that are coming in to about $20,000 that we've received, and those sponsors so far are AmeriCollect, the Anthill Mob, Bitter Newman, CP Feeds, Fireworks Country LLC, Lakeside Pepsi, Larry's Distributing, NextEra Energy, Prevea, and Sargento. So those are just a few of the ones that have supported us already this year, and I'm still working on getting other support. And then just a few other things, the deadlines that we have. Junior Fair deadline is July 1st. Open class deadline is July 15th. And just so you know, again, it'll be open, both for open class and junior fair, it's online only. And if anybody needs any help and you ever hear of somebody saying, I don't know how to enter, please have them call my office. We can work on helping them getting some computer training, I guess, for lack of better words. But I just want to say there's one more video, so it's a little shorter, but I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you allowing me to speak today. It's an honor. I enjoy being at the county fair. I enjoy the expo grounds. I'm coming into my 12th year. I've been working with Jerry for that number of years, and he hasn't kicked me out yet, except for camera work. I'm not the camera person anymore. I got fired from that one, but otherwise I've enjoyed it. And again, I hope you come out to the 2019 Manitowoc County Fair. It's really important to see the support, and it'll be August 21st through the 25th, and here we go. Well, these are pictures from a long time ago, like before I was probably born, I think. There you go. All right. Well, thank you. Whoop, got a microphone in the face, but thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate your time.
Do any of the supervisors have any questions for Todd, Jerry, or Janelle? I guess like just a kudos to all three of you, and especially the staff at Expo and the volunteers, not just including our supervisors who serve on that board, but this is definitely a volunteer organization, especially during the fair season. And I don't see how our fair would work without those volunteers. I mean, it's incredible. So a round of applause goes to them as well. It's incredible. All right. Next up is public comment. Before we get started with public comments, I'd just like to remind the supervisors, and for the most part, everybody's been very respectful over the years and stuff, but just remember, this is the public's time. You know, we might not always agree with what people come up and say in public comment, but we have chances to debate that at other times. This is their time. So with that, I will open public comment. If there's anybody from the public wishing to speak to any matter germane to county business, please raise your hand and give your name and address, and you'll be allowed approximately 3 minutes to speak. Is there anybody wishing to speak this evening? Yeah. Yes, Maura, we'll go with you first.
Chip. Chip Yo, Centerville. I'll begin with an announcement about severe weather spotter training. It will be put on by the National Weather Service. Everyone is welcome to attend and learn how to recognize different types of severe weather, prepare for severe weather outbreaks, and what actions to take in case of a severe weather event, and who to contact should you observe severe weather approaching your area. The public is welcome to attend. It's a free event and there's no registration required. The training will be on April 18th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the UWGB Manitowoc campus. I would like to complete a point during the last public input. Another indicator of our county's financial distress is that the county executive Ziegelbauer stated in his budget transmittal letter for the 2019 budget that he was transferring $384,000 from the employees' health care reserve to reduce the tax levy. And remember, the budget provided, quote, the typical county property taxpayer with a slight tax increase of less than 1.5%. The ad hoc exploratory committee had its second meeting recently. As you'll recall, at the end of the Highway Commissioner's 5-year plan, an estimated $10 million of road work in 2017 dollars will remain. The committee is in the process of formalizing a plan proposal. I'll provide them with work that I have done on the possible half-cent sales tax. We must plan to override the county executive's proposed veto. So please take time to express your support to your county board legislator for a half-penny sales tax to avoid millions of tax dollars over decades from leaving our county. Let's keep our tax dollars circulating here in Manitowoc County instead of exporting them by paying interest to borrow money. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Maura. Is there anybody else wishing to speak this evening to the board? Anyone else wishing to speak? And for a third and final time, anybody else wishing to speak? Seeing none, I'll declare public comment closed. Communications are shown on the agenda, and there's no unfinished business from our last meeting, so we'll jump right to appointments by the county executive. First up is to the Aging and Disability Resource Center Board to appoint one member to complete a vacancy expiring December 31st of 2020. And the recommendation is for Shirley Fessler. Motion by Supervisor Ballman, second by Supervisor Holzbach to approve the appointment. Any discussion? See none, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. To the Board of Health to appoint one member to succeed Marla Bernhardt for a 2-year term expiring April 2021. And the recommendation is for Kayla Drum. So motion by Supervisor Vogel, second by Supervisor Williams to approve Ms. Drum. Any discussion? See none, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Local Emergency Planning Committee to appoint one member to succeed a vacancy expiring December of 2019, and the recommendation is for Jessica Backus. So motion by Supervisor Hoffman, second by Supervisor Holzbach to approve Jessica. Any discussion? See none, all in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Thank you very much on those appointments. We'll move right into committee reports. Up first is Aging and Disability Resource Center Board. Supervisor Wagner is the chair.
Next meeting for the ADRC of the Lakeshore will be May 28th in Manitowoc County. Thank you. That's the end of my report.
Any questions for Supervisor Wagner? Thank you very much. Board of Health, Supervisor Metzger is the chair.
We'll be meeting this coming Thursday at 5 p.m. unless if weather permits. Otherwise, I have no report. Thank you.
Any questions for Supervisor Metzger? Please have your meeting. Please have your meeting. What I'm trying to say is we don't need that weather anymore. It's done. It's a little, in November when it gets cold, warm up for a couple of days and it gets cold, well, it's coming, but now it's supposed to get nice and the cold's supposed to go away and no more snow. So thank you for Supervisor Metzger. Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, Supervisor Falkowski is our representative.
Thank you. The next meeting is May 1st. That's the end of my report.
Any questions for Supervisor Falkowski? Thank you very much. Executive Committee, I have nothing tonight to report as well. Expo Center Board, Supervisor Kavanaugh is going to give you the report this evening.
Mr. Chairman, the Expo Center Board met Wednesday, April 3rd at the Expo office. The Operations Subcommittee gave us a report on a couple of things. They noted that ice is out of the ice center. They checked the compressors over. Fairest to the Fair competition was discussed, and Janelle gave a good report on that tonight. It was held, as she noted, March 30th, the last Saturday at the UW Center. 5 contestants, nice turnout. Marley Malmans, who is from the Reedsville area. She's a senior at Valders. She was the one that was selected. She's a former exhibitor in dairy, hogs, a lot of different areas. So I think she's going to do a very nice job. Dick Poland, who is on the parking, subcommittee discussed some of the things taking place with the parking. The trailer parking is going to be addressed for the people that bring in animals and store their feed in it. For a location, they're going to be meeting with the superintendents of the various barns to try to come up with something with that. Overall parking was discussed, and now related to that tonight too. One change with the parking this year, the horses, people will not be helping us out. So Dick has talked to, I guess, the police, and they're going to possibly, very likely, I think, have some police cadets that will be helping us out with that. No more horse parking. And some of the events might be doubling up here on Janelle, hopefully not. I think she noted that the dog show, the big dog show, and people came from other states. Home show was just held last weekend, and there's a rodeo coming in the Ice Center in May. And our next meeting will be Wednesday, May 1st at the Expo office. That concludes my report.
Any questions for Supervisor Kavanaugh? Bull riding, huh? Maybe we should consider that if some of us. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. Yeah. Thank you very much, Supervisor Kavanaugh. Finance Committee, Supervisor Hanson is the chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Because of vacation schedules and moving the county board, we did not have a meeting this month, and we will meet on May 13th. In financial business, I guess as chairman of the committee, I had a few emails and phone calls, people asking about the Expo Fund that Jerry had talked about tonight. I just want to say thank you. Appreciate Jerry Noiser's work explaining why the money that we got on the Meyer sale has gone down quickly, but as he explained tonight, it was to fix various problems that have been neglected for years. Sometimes we need to remind people the history of why that money was marked for Expo. And that is because that property was Expo and used for that purpose since it began back in the 70s. And I can say that because I got a PDF document that was copied that was from 1969, 70, and the handwriting on it looked worse than my handwriting in high school. But it was readable. It was a deal back then for that property. It's being used for the same purpose. So therefore, we should use that money to fix the buildings out there. It's gone down quickly. We need to let people know that it's down 50%, but it's because we had to fix things that have been put off for years. So just remind that when people call and ask why that fund has gone down quickly. With that, Mr. Chairman, Finance has nothing else, and we'll see the committee May 13th.
Any questions for Supervisor Hanson? Thank you very much. Highway Committee, Supervisor Banky is the chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We met prior to tonight's meeting. We went over a number of things. Mark gave us an update of the WCHA spring session. A lot of updates from the governor's office, the Department of Transportation, Secretary Thompson giving an update as well, trying to wheedle through the state budget, which is going to be like making sausage, I'm sure, to get us to pass budget. So that'll be interesting as far as transportation is concerned. The annual spring department training will be next week. There'll be 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of 8-hour training. And then on Thursday, if you're interested at 7:45, they'll do like a rodeo type of safety training. They will be training people on a number of pieces of equipment so that everybody knows how to work the signs out there, knows how to run the graders, do shouldering, different things. So if you're interested in that and you're retired and you don't have anything else to do with yourself, 7:45 next Thursday morning, and that includes you, Mr. Williams. We also talked about quad axle bids. We accepted the bid for cab and chassis for quality at $117,000, and for Casper for the body for $114,966. Two of them were the low bid in that process. And weight limits will be coming off on April 22nd. That got pushed back because of some of the weather issues as well. We went over vouchers, went over overtime report. Our next meeting is May 14th at 4:30. That concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
Any questions for Supervisor Benke? Thank you very much. Human Services Board, Supervisor Henriksen is the chair.
Mr. Chairman, we met March 28th at 4:45. We had a presentation on the Strong Parent Cafes. Lisa Steffen, Children's Long-Term Support Supervisor, and Eleanor Agnew, Human Services Board member, and Tracy Klesper from Lakeshore Community Action Program presented information on the parent cafes for parents of children with different abilities and special needs. Mrs. Steffen and Mrs. Klesper assist with coordinating events, as Mrs. Agnew is the instructor and advisor for the parents. The cafes begin in 2018 with a mini grant from a foundation when several people saw the needs for parents, with special needs children to obtain resources and support to meet others in the community with similar situations. They are intended to assist families and enhance child development, reduce neglect, and reduce stress. These parent cafes were received and are now held once a month at the Lakeshore Cap building on State Street. The cafes include a dinner for the families to share together. Afterwards, there is supervised playtime for the children, while the parents attend meetings in another room. Discussions initiated and then driven by what the parents want to share or work on. The base of the discussions, are the 5 protective factors that make families strong. They include social and emotional competence of children, knowledge of parenting and child development, social connections, and parental resilience and concrete support for times of need. Each month there's a different topic is used, and parents share experience they hope to accomplish by next meeting. Our next meeting will be April 25th, 2019 at 4:45 p.m. That concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions for Supervisor Henriksen? Thank you very much. And tonight, with the first time at a county board meeting with the new name, the Land Conservation Committee / UW Extension Education and Agricultural Committee, Supervisor Wagner is the chair.
Thank you, Chairman Bright. The Land Conservation's next meeting is May 16th at 4:45. We also included a new member to our committee for the FSA. His name is Mike Slattery. I'm not sure where he lives. I'm believing it's north of us.
I know it's in the Cooperstown area, maybe Supervisor Falkowski in that area. Yes.
So we did welcome him at our last meeting. The natural resource next meeting will be April 18th next week at the county office complex at 4:45. Thank you. That's the end of my report.
Any questions for Supervisor Wagner? Thank you very much. Personnel Committee, Supervisor Marsh is the chair.
I have no report. Our next meeting will be May 7th, and at that meeting, we will be discussing board compensation. That's the end of my report.
Any questions for Supervisor Marsh? Thank you very much. Planning and Park Commission, Supervisor Dyzek is the chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We did not meet in March. Our next meeting will be April 22nd at the county office complex, 3:30 advisory, 4 o'clock regular meeting. And I'd like to thank Supervisor Benke for the invite for the retired people. But I find myself, I'm so busy, I don't know how I ever found time to go to work. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions for Supervisor Dyzek? Thank you very much. Public Safety Committee, Supervisor Vogel is the chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We also had a short meeting right before this meeting tonight. And from that meeting, I bring you resolution number 1. The resolution is authorizing the clerk of court to contract with the Wisconsin Department of Revenue for the collection of unpaid debt. It's pretty self-explanatory, and I so move.
So motion by Supervisor Vogel, second by Supervisor Holzbach. All right, discussion on the motion. See none? The clerk will now conduct the vote.
Supervisors will now vote on the resolution authorizing the clerk of court to contract the Wisconsin Department of Revenue for the collection of unpaid debt.
Supervisor Williams, there we go. Thank you. Resolution passes 23-0.
Thank you. The next meeting for the Public Safety Committee will be on May 8th at 5 PM, second floor of the Public Health Department. Thank you.
Any questions for Supervisor Vogel? Thank you very much. Public Works Committee, Supervisor Giroux is the chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As we had no meeting, there is no report. The next meeting is tomorrow afternoon at 4:30 at the County Health Building in room 207. That concludes my report.
Any questions for Supervisor Giroux? Thank you very much. Transportation Coordinating Committee, Supervisor Ballman is the chair.
And I also have no report, Chairman Bry.
One of the benefits of having an early county board meeting, I guess, no. Just teasing, obviously just teasing. All right, I guess with that, I don't have any other announcements. Next month we'll be back on our normal schedule. If there's nothing else, Supervisor Ballman? Did you have a comment?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion to adjourn by Supervisor Ballman. Is there a second? Second by Supervisor Dizak. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a safe trip home and also be careful over the next couple of days.